Like, I don't care what the fuck you bring. I don't care how good you are. I'm fucking winning.
I could do this all day. Feel the rush of adrenaline, going hard in the paint. Do the work, gonna hurt, gotta get it in. Take another shot, it's all part of the game. I'm going all in.
What's going on, guys? Matt Fraser here. A couple months ago, we went down memory lane of some of my favorite workouts from my career. Today, we're doing the same thing with a little twist. So today is Legacy Edition. And so the coaches at HWPO picked out 5 workouts that they viewed as, legacy style workouts for my career. I don't know what they are yet. So we're gonna go through them one by one, and I'm gonna give you all my thoughts.
All right, man, let's start with the first one. Workout 1, 2, 2, 2, 3 intervals. Do you remember that workout?
Vividly. So the 2, 2, 2, 3 intervals, correct me if I'm wrong, it was, so 2 minutes of work, 1 minute. So you had 1 minute rest in between each interval. So 2 minutes, 1 minute, 2, 1, 2, 1, and then 3 minutes on the final interval. And it was 2 rope climbs. And I want to say they were like 20 or 24 feet. They were on the Zeus rig. And what was it, 15 calories, 10 calories on the ski erg, and then max overhead squats in the remaining time. I think it was 155 pounds. And the workout was completed when you accumulated 75 overhead squats. So really intense, short intervals, built-in rest. You try to do the rope as quick as you can, keep your heart rate low, sprint like hell on that ski erg, and then just try to chip away as much as you can on the overhead squats every single round.
And Matt Fraser, you put a barbell in his hand, he's gonna be happy all day long.
So I think when they announced, I don't remember when they announced the workout. I don't remember if that was like one that they announced way ahead of time or in the moment, but I think I was pretty psyched on it. Rope climbs, okay, I think I'm decent at those. Ski erg, I know I have a pretty big disadvantage compared to a lot of other guys, or I'm just not as good on it. But the bread and butter for me is the overhead squat. That lightweight overhead squats, I feel like I get to knock those out of the park. Just coming from my weightlifting background, I can just find that position, hold that weight overhead pretty effortlessly. Usually for myself, once I have the weight locked out overhead, I don't really miss as I'm standing up or anything like that. So going in to accumulate as 75 overhead squats at 155, my 1 rep overhead squat at the time was 405. So, pretty lightweight. So it was just a lot of, fatigue management, pacing. They yell 3, 2, 1, go. I'm trying to think who was around me. I think Brent was in the lane right next to me. So every round, 3, 2, 1, go. He had a bit of advantage on me on the rope climbs going up. Because I think even with those ropes, he was maybe still doing 2 pulls, maybe 3, but I'm doing like 4 or 5. He would have a bit of advantage getting up, but then I would just fireman pull down. I have, really rock solid technique with switching my foot grip once. So as I go up, tag overhead, I switch my foot grip from a regular J hook to like a heel hook, but then the rope's coming up in between your legs instead of on the outside. So from there, touch, and then I would just let go. And just like, you're basically sacrificing a pair of shoes, but you get to free fall on the way down, clamp your feet a foot before the bottom, boom, and then you're off. The ski erg, I was able to get away with it a bit there, just because it was shorter distance. So, click that damper up so you're getting a bit more bite per pull. And then it was going to the overhead squats. And I forget what it was exactly. Maybe on the first couple sets of overhead squats, did we move forward like every 10 reps or every 15 reps maybe? And then after that, it was every 3 reps. And so it cracks me up now. Now you'll either see athletes doing what I did back then, or you'll see competitions implementing a rule so you can't do it. But each section, you would do 3 overhead squats, and then you had the transition. And well, obviously I don't want to bring the bar down, walk forward, pop it back up. So I would do my first set at the very, very front of the box. My toes were almost touching the boundary line. I would do my 3 overhead squats, and then I would take 1 step forward, like just a foot length forward, do my next 3 overhead squats, and then I would dump it, roll it forward 2 sections, or like a set 1.9 sections, and then repeat. But first round felt great. I just tried to stay consistent on the overhead squats. I remember watching Noah. I mean, this is kind of one of those famous ones. I think Noah got like 33 overhead squats in the first round.
And this should be the highest rep count we'll see from anybody in the opening interval. 30 reps in the books for Noah Olson. For more on him, we go to Sam Farber.
A few moments later.
Number 3, and he no reps again as he comes off the rope, and this could be the end of the road for Noah Olson's podium hopes.
It was something absurd. And it was kind of like, oh shit, somebody might be able to finish this workout in 3 rounds. And I remember even when we were briefed on it, of like I think they told us like, it can't be done in 3 rounds. And immediately I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna try, you know? But yeah, I remember seeing Noah pull way ahead and then immediately fall off. Because I don't think a lot of people realize how grip intensive overhead squatting is. You kind of think it's like a push press or a jerk overhead, where you're not gripping the bar, it's just kind of like planted on that platform. But for whatever reason, when your hands are out wide, it blows up your grip. So, you know, being aware of what type of wrist wraps I'm wearing, how tight they're wrapped, where I'm tightening them, like when in the transition, stuff like that. So it all kind of mattered. So I think I had a decent first round. And then what was it? It was going into the 4th round. So yeah, going into the 3rd, it was like, okay, you know, I'm in first place, or I'm in the lead or close to it. I don't think I'm going to finish in 4th, but it doesn't matter because I'm not going to finish in 3 rounds. I'm going to finish in 4, but that's okay because nobody's finishing in 3 rounds. And then I think it was on the 4th round, Brent and I were pretty close. I think within 3 reps of each other. But once again, it was one of those things like I saw Brent as he's coming up, catching on me. I saw it and I was like, no, I think I have enough of a buffer, I'm good. So I just kind of stay controlled. And then it was on the last round, Brent was making real big push for it, got out ahead of me. But then I think he was clean and then going overhead and then starting his first squat. And I was able to just run up, like it's 155 pounds. Even if, you know, I'm on my deathbed, my heart rate's at 200. I'd like to think I'm not missing a 155 squat snatch. So, you know, I think he had the bar overhead. Like he got to the station seconds before me. But then by the time he was starting his first squat, I had already grabbed the bar, started, and kind of gotten my lead. But yeah, that workout, that one was definitely one that I wish came up as a repeat workout. I think that would have been super cool. You know, whether it's, you know, put it earlier in the week or just a year later to see how much people have evolved with, you know, their pacing, their technique, their just overall fitness. Because I definitely think that there's definitely people that can do that workout in 3 rounds. But yeah, that was a fun one. It was a tough one.
Do you win it?
I think I won my heat. There may have been somebody from like heat 1 that beat me or something.
I want to check real quick. You won it.
Oh, sick. Cool.
All right, next workout. Workout number 2 is called the standard.
Oh, the fucking standard. Oh, dude. So we got 30 clean and jerks at 135, 30 ring muscle ups, and then 30 snatches at 135, all consecutive. I like that workout. Like it's a great workout. You know, it's very straightforward. It is just lay out the work and get it done. But like first time doing that workout was the final workout in the 2019 games. Yeah, because it was Noah and I going back to back. So yeah, they announced it and it's just like, fuck. You know, I want, you know, whether it's a heavier barbell or whatever, you know. So when they announced it, it's one of those things where it's like, if you're at the CrossFit Games, that's an amazing workout for you. Like light barbell cycling, ring muscle ups, it's the bread and butter for so many CrossFitters. And so when they announced it, I was kind of like, shit, you know, it's not what I would have picked for myself, but you know, it's nothing terrible. We're not we're not doing 10 of my weaknesses, but I just knew how even the playing field was. I think it was a final workout, so they would have announced it pretty late in the competition. That one is very vivid for me. So starting off, you know, I was in second place, Noah was in first until the workout. Prior to that, then I got the leader jersey back. So I'm in first place going into this, but we were close enough on points that I think if Noah, it didn't matter where we finished ranking, but if Noah beat me and there was 2 people in between us, Noah would win the games. So I'm going into it with that mentality of just like, it's all or nothing, you know, there's no point. Like for me, I don't care if it's not first place, I don't care if it's second or 10th. Like I just want first. So, you know, going into the final workout, it's the bigger entrance onto the floor. It's, you know, the commentators running through your whole resume, hyping up the crowd. You get to pick your walkout song. I got goosebumps right now. And so every season I would have my song for the season. Like that's what I trained to. For me, it was when I was driving to the gym, I'd put on one song that would get me into like tunnel mode. That season, I picked We Will Rock You by Queen, purely for this specific moment. I was like, when I'm walking out for my last workout and I'm in first place, I want to hear the entire fucking stadium playing along with that song. So it's the boom, boom, clap, boom, boom, clap. And, you know, you're under the tunnel, you hear that song come on, and then you hear fucking 12,000 feet. And I just sat in the back, I was like, it's over. Like I'm winning, guys. Like I don't care what the fuck you bring, I don't care how good you are, I'm fucking winning. Because I knew it just came down to that workout. Nothing else mattered. So I was like, yeah, I don't care if I break an ankle, I don't care if my elbow bends, like I'm winning this fucking workout. But going into it, so I would say if there's a workout, give Noah Olson a workout to beat me in, 30 ring muscle ups. Like I don't think there's a single person out there that would disagree that Noah is phenomenal at ring muscle ups. And then the barbell's light enough that, you know, if it's a 315 for a bunch of reps, yeah, I think I have an advantage if we're doing cleans or something. But 135, no, Noah's got a sick Grace time. He's got a sick Isabel time. He can do 30 muscle ups damn near unbroken. So it's like, I'm coming into that workout like, okay, I got my work cut out for me. I made a decision, you know, was it the right decision, wrong decision? Who the fuck knows? But when I went out, I said like, if it comes down to effort, I'm not losing. If somebody else and I are shoulder to shoulder, rep for rep, nobody is gonna beat my heart today. Nobody's gonna outwork me today. Not a fucking chance. That gave me the smart idea. Just fucking sprint from the start. Just 3, 2, 1, go. You're like a bat out of hell. Just go as fast as you can, as long as you can, and just hang on. That's what I did. I just wanted to make sure, I was like, I don't care how much I'm hurting. As long as I'm shoulder to shoulder going into the snatches, I'm good. This is where I knew, I was like, all right, like as long as I'm within reach of Noah coming off the muscle ups, because my muscle ups went terribly. I was like, all right, there's 3 rigs, 3 sets of 10. That's not a lot. Like 3 sets of 10 with a 10-second break in between. It's like, yeah, it's not an easy, you know, check mark, but it's not unreasonable. Like that's a very doable thing. I forget what my muscle ups fell to, but they got fucking bad. Like I was definitely down to singles by the end. I think I may have failed my last rep and then had to jump up and do one more. Don't quote me on that, but my muscle ups fell apart badly. Because I think I went unbroken on the first set of 10 and then like went 6-4 and then it was like 4 and then doubles and singles. But I'm doing my last muscle up. Noah's already finished and walking up to the bar. And so I think before he did his first snatch, I had already finished my muscle ups, but his hands are on the bar, I'm transitioning. So I don't know if I was like taking off my grips or chalking up or what. Yeah, I was definitely next to the chalk bucket, but I was squatting next to the chalk bucket, just watching Noah. And as I'm chalking my hands, and I went, okay, if he does a touch and go here, I gotta race. I gotta put the throttle down and it's gonna hurt. I was like, if he does a single, I won. And stood it up, did a single, dropped it, and then I was like, got him. Like, I don't need to race to the bar right now, any of that shit. I wish I went fives, like unbroken on every set all the way through. I forget if it was 5 or 6 on each square, but I think once I got enough of a lead, I just switched to singles and just kind of kept an eye on the guys around me. Like, all right, if anyone starts doing touch and goes, I just start ripping it again. But no, that was definitely one of my favorite moments because it was so out of character for me to not strategize and just I wanted the results of the workout to be based on effort. I was very confident that if it came down to effort, pain management, just who wants it more, I got it. That workout was so painful. And I was just like, never again, never again. That workout hurt so much, especially in a competition setting. I signed up for a competition 5 months later, 6 months later, first event, the standard. It's like, fuck.
Third workout, 21, 15, 9, 6, 3. Strict handstand push-ups, front squats, bar facing burpees.
Bro. Oh. I'd have to look at a full list of every workout that I've done in competition. But that one is probably one of my favorite. Not really because of the workout itself, but because I fucking smashed people. Holy shit. So that was 2014 regionals, right? Regionals at the time were hosted at Reebok headquarters. I had been treated like absolute shit, like disgracefully by Reebok employees. This before I got into competing, this is before I ever went to the games, anything like that. And there's one specific Reebok employee, you know who the fuck you are. You kicked me out of your gym because I wasn't wearing Reebok. No one ever told me this was a rule, no one ever, anything. I got invited by some of the guys that train there to come into Reebok and train with them for the afternoon. I didn't really want to do it. O'Keefe pushed me. He's like, no, I want you to meet some of these guys, it'd be great for all this stuff. So we walk in, they're all training, they're doing their thing. They're like, hey, just hang out, we'll be done this workout in like 10 minutes, then you can jump in. And this dude comes across the gym and just get out. And I was like, what are you talking to? Like, what the fuck's going on here? He walks us outside, stands us on a sidewalk tile, kind of like that, and is like, you can stand right here, do not move. And I was just like, O'Keefe, get the fucking truck. Like, who is this guy? What did we do wrong? Like, let's pack up. But then, you know, you're going back to their home turf, and it's like, you know, I think Austin Malleolo had won the Northeast Regional like 3 times or 5 times, and, you know, that guy that talked to me like that, he was there. And it's just like, I'm gonna eat your fucking lunches, boys. You know, for whatever reason, like, so strict handstand push-ups, first time I ever did them, kick up, like, all right, those are easy enough. The front squats, I still had so much residual strength from my weightlifting career. So, you know, doing those types of reps, and what was the weight, 205? 205 or 210, something like that? Oh, 195, okay. I definitely, going into the workout, I was definitely like, okay, break up the set of 21, maybe break up the set of 15 and then go unbroken. Got out on the competition floor, and this is 2014, you know, I'm still full of piss and vinegar, and you know, everyone's dropping the bar, and I was like, nah, I'm hanging on, I wanna make a statement. This is the first time I'm going into regionals with any desire of going past regionals. So I competed at regionals 2013, had no idea what I was doing, didn't know shit, and just winged it, and it showed. 2014, I'm showing up and I'm like, I wanna win. Back then, there may have been 5 weeks of regionals, 4 to 5 weeks of regionals, and every region had all the same workouts. This is back in that day. So Northeast was like the 4th week or 5th week to go. I think we were one of the last weeks to compete. So from when the workouts got released, like 3 weeks before the first week, and then there's 3 or 4 more weeks of regionals, I did whatever the 7 workouts of regionals, I did those 7 workouts on repeat for like 2 months. That's all I did. I didn't know how to train, dude. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to get better, but I was like, it was the type of thing I looked at, I was like, wait, the teacher gave us the test ahead of time and you wanna work on something else? Why would I do rowing intervals? I know what the workouts are here, you know? So I just hammered them over and over and over. And so I got them so dialed in. And it was just, you know, a combination of like not qualifying the year before, being treated the way I had been treated, hearing just the narratives coming in from other people of like hyping up somebody else. And I was like, no, I want to win.
The next workout, you definitely remember this one. It's called acid bath.
Acid bath. What was that, Dubai in 2018? Yeah, acid bath, so 500 meter row, 500 meter ski erg, 500 meter row, 1,000 meters on the C2 bike. So essentially you're doing 3 500 intervals back to back. I think that was December 2018. That was a qualifier for the 2019 CrossFit Games. So this is the first year that they announced, what was it? No semifinal or no regionals. They're just doing semifinals. And if you win a semifinal, you get to go to the games. Rule book wasn't released yet. They were like, the rule book will be out during the Open or after the Open or something like that. Well, the Dubai Fitness Championships is in December, a month before all of that. So, they announce a workout like that and I'm pretty excited. Not that I think I can win it. I think take the lot of guys, take the top 5 guys that, you would predict are going to end up on the podium. And I was comfortable. I was like, I think I can beat all of them. I didn't think I could win the workout. I was like, no, there's a couple of Russian guys here that are just big dudes. So yeah, it was just like, all right, keep an eye on the people around that I'm actually competing with. Like obviously I'm competing with everyone, but like, all right, who's near me? But also on a workout like that, it's like, there's not much pacing. Like maybe there's a little bit of pacing on the ski erg, tiny bit on the row. And then by the time you're on the second half of the row or on the bike, it's just, you're full throttle. So once again, there's not too much strategy. It just go as fast as you can and transition as fast as you can. You don't have to worry about brakes or putting equipment down or anything like that. So just transition fast, pull fast, and you're done. And it's a quick workout, like ripping off a Band-Aid. So yeah, I was excited going into it, but I'll never forget. It was fucking hilarious. 3, 2, 1, go, final heat. We're all pulling on the ski erg. And during competition, they link all the machines together. So it doesn't look like your regular display on your C2 where you see all the normal data. The top half looks normal. And then the bottom half, I think it showed first place and how many meters ahead they were. The place ahead, one spot ahead of you, and then one spot behind you. So you could always see who was in first and by how much. And it would just show like a plus 20, so they're 20 meters ahead. We had to be 40 meters in. So like on the ski erg, 4 big pulls, 5 quick pull, whatever you want to do. You're in the first 10, 20 seconds of the workout. And Roman Krenikov was in first place and it was like a plus 24. I had like 40 meters and he had plus 24 on me. And I was just like, I just remember in the moment, kind of like, you're in game mode and you see that and it's like, you're not even upset. Like if it's like, if they're like 2 meters ahead, it's like, oh man, he got a better sprint start than me, or his damper was set on a better first start, something marginal. But when Roman was like 24 meters ahead, I just was like, all right, like this is his workout. But yeah, ski erg, I think I kept it pretty conservative, just like sub 140s. I don't think I was, no, it would have been like mid 130s, but nothing well below max effort. Then the row amped it up a little bit more. And then I knew for myself, it's on the C2 bike, that's compared to other guys, that's where I'm strongest. So, just put the damper up heavy and you just tell yourself like, all right, if I go fast enough, it's a minute 20. It's a minute 20 of pain and then I never have to do it again. So you feel it like every step, you feel your legs failing. Like you've never felt them so puffy. It was atrocious. And then finished the workout. I think Roman got first. I got second maybe. But what got really interesting was the carnage after the workout. Like the workout wasn't long enough to feel the pain during it. But it was one of those workouts that you finish and then the pain just keeps climbing, just keeps going, keeps going. And so, you're watching everyone at the finish line. You're seeing guys on all fours getting to the finish line because they can't run. Saw a couple guys like rolling across. And for me, I always made it the point, I wanted to look strong on the competition floor. I never wanted any of my competitors to see weakness, smell blood in the water, anything. And not only is it not showing weakness, but showing strength. Like, dude, that didn't affect me, So always trying to like stand tall at the finish line. Anytime I could, keep my mouth shut. It's a very subtle thing, but after a Metcon, if you can walk around with your mouth shut, that's good. So I remember the workout finished, and then everyone gets up, we walk off the floor, and it was on the corner of the floor, a single man door you walk through, and then it was like a wheelchair ramp that went back, and it just like was a switchback, one ramp. Everyone turned that corner, and as soon as they were out of sight from the crowd, down, crash, crash, crash. Dude, there were like 10 dudes on this ramp, and we're all like flailing around trying to find a comfortable position because you just feel your quads just puffing up more. You like, dude, my quads are gonna pop. Like, you're trying to get them elevated. All the coaches are back there shaking legs, shaking quads. And it was just one of those things you just knew, like, nothing but time is gonna fix this. Nothing but time. But yeah, I remember that, walking back and just seeing this carnage, and it looked like a braid of arms and legs and all these just specimens of humans just crumbled, and then I joined the pile. And this is also at the time Roman spoke about zero English. I think I had shaken his hands a couple times, but I don't think we'd ever shared words. And my apology, I think it was his wife at the time, may have been his girlfriend at the time, but she acted as his translator sometimes. And so, Roman and I are on bikes next to each other, and I would like to think that there's this respect, even though we don't speak the same language. It's always smiles, fist bumps. I would be talking to his wife, and she would translate for us, and we're having a bit of a conversation. He spoke zero English the whole time until I told the story of, I was like, bro, when I was at 40 meters, you were 24 meters ahead of me, or whatever the numbers were. And I was like, that was incredible. Like, the paces you were holding were unbelievable. It's nothing but compliments. And I think his wife started translating, and then he just looked at me and goes, I work with Henshaw. And I was like, yeah, you fucking do, bud. But yeah, those are the only words that he spoke to me. I work with Henshaw. And I was like, it shows, dude. Good work.
And the last workout, 40-minute EMOM, 15 calories on the rower, 15 GHD sit-ups, 15 calories on the Echo bike, and 1 round of Macho Man.
Macho Man. I mean, the first 75% of that workout was a standard Sunday routine. 40-minute EMOMs. There was always a 40-minute EMOM on Sundays. Station 1 was always rowing, Station 3 was always biking. 9 times out of 10, Station 2 was GHDs. Just because, 1, I hate doing large sets of GHDs. My back hurts, I get a tension headache, I get dizzy. I hate them, they're not fun. So I didn't like doing them Metcons, and so I would always save them to the end of the week. EMOMs were a great way. I would accumulate 150. I usually tried to touch between 150 and 200 GHDs a week. So just throwing them in at the end of the week, when I had the whole next day to recover, it complements the rowing movement really well with opening up at the hips. GHDs, you're closing at the hips. So it just worked out a lot to throw them in on Sundays. The bike, the bike and row calories, they fluctuated anywhere from 12 calories in the minute. If I wanted like a really intense, 20 some odd seconds of work, a lot more rest, I would go 12 calories. But the standard was 15. Sometimes they would work up to 20 or so, but 15 was the bread and butter. And then 1 round of Macho Man. I loved Macho Man. I don't know why. I love EMOMs, and it's that mid-weight barbell cycling. I hate cycling 95-pound barbell. I hate cycling a 315-pound barbell. But you give me that 185 to 205 right in the middle there, I think that's where I really excel. That was just a training EMOM for me. That template there, you could take that workout, take the same workout, 15 cal row, 15 GHD, 15 cal bike, 6 D-ball cleans, or the Macho Man, two rope climbs in the last minute. That probably covered 90% of my EMOMs that I ever did. Those first 3 movements were pretty concrete staples in my training. The 40-minute EMOM, man, the progressions of those. I remember training with other games athletes and be like, all right, like we're hitting a 40-minute EMOM. And they legitimately like, okay. I'm like, no, we're doing a 40-minute EMOM. And like, they thought I was joking. They thought I was fucking with them. The amount of CrossFit Games athletes that came to train with me at one point or another that thought I was fucking with them during training, it's unbelievable. Alex Anderson, that man thinks I'm a pathological liar. Like, it's hilarious. One of my favorite people in the world. But just from, he would see me training and doing like band assisted pull-ups. And he's like, You don't actually do those. You're just trying to throw us off. And I'm like, sure, don't do them. But yeah, the 40-minute EMOMs, I mean, those were just, they're a fucking mental test. And for me, it was always just, it was a fight to get to the 16-minute mark. You're in full pain, you're breathing, your heart rate's up, you're sweating, you're in full pain mode, and you're not even halfway. What I love doing too is when we were doing 40-minute EMOMs with a big group, you hit the 10-minute mark and you're like, all right, boys, halfway to halfway. And you just saw all the wind come out of these sails. They're like, I'm halfway to halfway, you know? But to me, like thoughts like that I'm like, we're basically done. We're already halfway to halfway, you know? 40-minute EMOMs, they got gnarly. I had a handful of them that it was an accomplishment just to finish them. All right, guys, that's all the time we have today. Thank you for coming down memory lane with me. I love rehashing old workouts and just remembering a lot of the fun times. But keep in mind, these 5 legacy workouts that we put, they are going to be showing up in all of the HWPO tracks. So even the affiliate, we're going to have a variation of these workouts. So everyone on HWPO is going to be hitting these legacy workouts. So get after them, have fun.